was President Obama's former national security advisor, Susan Rice, back in April, at first denying allegations that the Obama administration unmasked or so-called revealed the names of the Trump team in order to spy on them about Russia. Later admitting, though, Susan Rice later admitted that they indeed did just that. Now, a source close to the House panel review saying that the number of those involved in this alleged unmasking in the Obama administration could grow to more than half a dozen officials. Now, Susan Rice is supposed to appear before a closed session of the Senate Intelligence Committee this week, but today's appearance from Susan Rice before the House committee was postponed. Now, let's take a quick look at how some defense stocks did today. We're looking at Lockheed Martin and Northrop Grumman closing in the red. We have Raytheon and General Dynamics ending the day in the green. Let's bring in former Utah Congressman and the former chair of the House Oversight and Government Reform Committee. He is a Fox contributor, Jason Chaffetz. Good to see you.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
What can we expect from Susan Rice?
Well, you hope to get the truth. I mean, initially, she's been very eager to speak to the press. Not quite so eager to speak with the congressional inquiry. And so first she denied it, and then she said, well, we didn't do it for political reasons. But there is a finite number of people who get to see this information, and there is quite a paper trail on who unmasks these. And this is one instance, I would point out, where we actually know that a crime has been committed. So you look at all the other noise about Russia and all the other things that you hear out there. This is an instance where we know somebody broke the law. You know,
Congressman, the question is, too, why is this a closed session? Don't the American people deserve to hear directly from Susan Rice what she says instead of via leaks?
Well, I can understand how they would want to first go into a classified setting. You're dealing about very sensitive information. The process by which it goes through is very sensitive into itself. But I do hope that the culmination at some point is a public hearing or a public report, whether it be the Inspector General or the committee itself, where we get to understand who did what and how. And this is also a precursor to a bigger problem the intelligence community is going to have, because that reauthorization for the program has to come up later this year. And when you hear about how easy it is to get in and leak names, it would be very difficult for Congress to reauthorize this program later in the year.
Yeah, Congressman, to your point, I mean, now a half a dozen Obama officials potentially scrutinized in this unmasking probe. Now, the question is, why would people like Obama's White House Chief of Staff, Dennis McDonough, and Samantha Powers, a diplomat, have access to this intelligence? I mean, we're talking about the privacy of people on the Trump team as well, and Americans as well.
Well, I do think that's the pivotal question, is why were they looking at these particular pieces of information? There is so much information out there, and these two people, Samantha Powers and Susan Rice, given their level of, they have one of the highest security clearances you can have. I can understand them having that, but why did they look at this particular information, and why did they want it unmasked? That is the pivotal question.
You know, Congressman, is this what happened? I mean, all right, let's back up about the timeline. The Democrat National Committee gets hacked in 2015. The Obama White House is criticized for not doing anything about that until a vague warning to Russia more than a year later in October 2016. Hillary and the Democrats continue to complain about the do-nothing Obama administration on this. But behind the scenes, the Obama White House is spying and leaking on Trump and Trump officials. Is that what happened?
Well, that latter part is one of the allegations, and that's one of the question marks. But the timing, given the lateness in the Obama administration, is very much a question mark. I think the other big question mark, we're getting a little bit off topic, but when Jeh Johnson, the Homeland Security Secretary, goes to the Democratic organization and says, we believe there's been a hack, we want to help, and Debbie Wasserman Schultz, or at least that organization over there, and the Democrats kind of puts out their stiff arm and says, we don't need, any help, don't come and look at this, then Homeland Security backs off. And I think a lot of this is my guess. The underlying premise here was that Hillary Clinton was on a glide path to victory, and they didn't want to disrupt anything.
That's a good point. Former Utah Congressman Jason Chaffetz, now a Fox contributor. Thank you so much for coming on. We love having you on. Come back soon.
Thank you.